Now, I would say, Tom, that in many of the audiences that I'm addressing, many have not grown up in the church, were not baptized as babies. And where it says in John, those who believed and received him became children of God. Mm-hmm. And so I would preach the gospel as best as I can, explaining this and giving people an opportunity to receive Christ. Now, the person who wrote to me was saying, no, that's not enough. They have to be baptized for them to become real Christians. Okay, so where does baptism fit in the whole conversion story?
At the time of the Reformation, there were debates about this in relation to the brigand who died on the cross beside Jesus.
Yes.
And Jesus assures him, today you will be with me in paradise. And people said, well, he wasn't baptized. And so they made a kind of legal fiction. Well, he was baptized in his blood or something.
Yes.
Which was a way of saying baptism is normal, but of course, God can easily cope with the abnormal or the non-normal.
Yes.
So don't get in a fuss about that. But if somebody has genuinely come to faith and they have not been baptized, I would say, yes, they need to come to baptism. And different churches have different disciplines about that, as they did in the early church, where you would go through a period as the catechumenate, where you would be trained, you would come to regular classes, you would study the scriptures, you would learn methods of prayer, etc. And then, possibly at Easter, which is one of the most appropriate times for it, they would baptize all the people who had thus been prepared. Now, we see it in the New Testament that it can happen much more quickly than that. When Philip meets the Ethiopian eunuch in Acts chapter 8, he's expounding Isaiah 53 to him, and the Ethiopian eunuch believes, and then the chariot is going along and he says, there's a pool of water here, what's to stop me being baptized? And Philip says, you believe in Jesus? Splash.
I know, and I like that.
Yeah, of course.
Because
absolutely.
I think sometimes we lose the spontaneity.
No, I agree. And I have sometimes baptized people within a day or so of them coming to faith, where it's clear they really have received Jesus into their lives. And I say, okay, why not at the evening service tomorrow?
Yes.
But I would want to say as well, bring not only friends but also family, because
it's a public declaration,
exactly,
isn't it?
Exactly.